So in this video, we're going to discuss how to use the QuickTime player to capture our desktop and capture a PowerPoint presentation. And then in the next video, we will go into how to take that and bring that into iMovie and edit something and then send it on to YouTube. So in this video, again, we're talking about QuickTime Player. So we are running, if I go to the Apple and down to about this Mac, we're running version 10.8.2, so just as a heads up on the operating system. And if I go down here into the dock, I'll actually make it a little bit bigger so everybody can see, we want to choose QuickTime Player. So I'm going to go ahead and click on QuickTime Player. We know that the app is running because in the upper left-hand corner to the right of the Apple we see the QuickTime Player name, so we know that the application is running even though there's nothing on the screen. We now can go to File, down to New Screen Recording. We get a screen recording dialog box in the middle here, or actually I moved it to the middle. There is a drop down here that we can choose the microphone. So if you are using a USB headset or if you're using an external microphone, which I really recommend, in my case I'm using actually the earbuds, the white earbuds from an iPod, because it does have a built-in microphone. I just try to use some sort of microphone whenever I am building projects. So I have the built-in microphone selected, and I have the quality set to high. At this point, you would just need to click on the record button in the center. You get a message down the middle of your screen. Click to record the full screen or drag to record part of the screen. So there's two ways that we can do this. So the first way, I'm going to go ahead and click once. The recording has started. If we can minimize the screen recorder, and we could go ahead and go into whatever it is that we're trying to capture. So in our case, it could be a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up PowerPoint just to demonstrate this part of it. And we have something to edit later. And I'm just going to use one of the predefined presentations within PowerPoint. So I'm just going to click Choose and let PowerPoint come up. When PowerPoint loads, we go to Slideshow and play slideshow from start. So if you were doing a flipped classroom presentation and you just wanted to go over a PowerPoint, you could be talking over the top, hitting the arrow, moving to the next slide, continuing to talk about what the content that's on that slide. Then we can at some point post that to a course and actually then even post the PowerPoint along with it. So if somebody wanted to download the PowerPoint, they could. I'm going to hit escape on the keyboard to go back to PowerPoint, and I'm going to go ahead and go to PowerPoint and down to Quit PowerPoint. So now that video is complete. So I'm down here in the dock, I'm going to pull up that screen recording again, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the stop. It says finishing, and now we have our screen, or a recording of our screen. We can go up to the file, we can go down to export, export to, share. If you were satisfied with what you did and you don't want to edit anything, if you're okay with people seeing you start the presentation and end the presentation, you can go and just go ahead and export it directly to YouTube. At this point, I actually want to export, and I'm going to choose the desktop. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the desktop. I'm going to call this presentation 1. And under format, I could choose a particular format. I could choose a 1280 by 720. I believe it's 1920 by 1080. Or I could choose one of these others. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at movie. So it's going to save the movie as the original movie. And I'm going to click on export. And when I close this, I can say, when you close it, you could also do the save at that point. It gives you the same options as the export. I'm going to go ahead and say don't save because I did export that file. So it's right here in the middle. I'm going to do one more capture showing you a selection of the screen. So maybe you bring up a web browser and you just want to record just that web browser. You don't want to record the rest of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and open up QuickTime. Again, we see the QuickTime player name in the upper left. Go down to File, New Screen Recording, clicking on the Record button, and I'm just going to drag over the top of that browser window to select it, letting go, clicking on the Start Recording in the center. So this is a way that you could keep items off the screen and pull them into that recordable area. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Stop. We have the video that's been created. We now can again do an export. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on the X in the upper left-hand corner, the red X. It's going to ask me if I want to save. I'm going to call this presentation 2 and click on Save. Closing out the Firefox window, we now have 2 videos. If you're wanting to test the video, you can double-click, or you can drag and drop it onto the QuickTime player to verify that the file is a legitimate file, and verify the other one as well, just to make sure everything's good and you have your files. So at this point you could even upload those directly to YouTube from a web browser, but in the next video we're going to show how to bring those into iMovie and edit them.